Well, the garden update here on the 19th of July. It's a Sunday. We've had a Japanese beetle invasion. Most people don't hang it near the plants because they say it draws in more. But I put that bag out 4 days ago and it's got about 2.5 inches of beetles in it. They're at least not on here eating. It might have dragged some more in here. Now I've been using some spray on them, but it doesn't really, insecticidal slope really doesn't kill them because they're a hard insect. And you can see them here and you can see the damage. Now I'm going to spray this with powder miser spray, your crank handle, and I'm going to put BT on this and that will stop these because I don't like to use the heavy chemicals. Now that bug will be killed by Safer's insecticidal soap, but that it'll slow them down a little bit, but it's hard case, so it will turn that soft case bug to jelly. Now the squash is doing fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I am running a experiment trying to cut down on the borer problem with squash, when it would work on pumpkins also. But these are pretty healthy, and when they get in here, now some of the leaves are broken over, but see, they're setting a ton of fruit, and they're as healthy as we've ever grown. And if the borers will leave them alone, we'll have more squash than we can eat and can. The okra's been really slow. I had decided to dress this with some full strength Miracle-Gro. They're just not growing. They're not taking off. The peppers are doing fine. They've set peppers. See, we've got a few peppers on them now. And down here is where I transplanted. The first 6 of these were transplants. And you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're the transplants, and they're doing better than those ones that came up from seed. And I've side dressed this with Miracle-Gro. Well, the tomatoes are doing pretty good. We have no complaints. This might be a good season for tomatoes. We've had 2 bad years. We didn't have a rain from the 19th up to like last Tuesday, and we got 1.25 inches. But we can't eat this many. Now the Better Boys are always behind these. And the Better Boys have set a lot of fruit. And they've got a lot of flowers on them, and we finally got some pollinators. When you see the dragonflies show up in your garden, the pollinators will be about 2 weeks behind them. Well, everything's behind this year. And when we saw the dragonflies about 3 weeks ago, we expected to see the pollinators. Now I could look across this garden and not see anything flying except the Japanese beetle. And now the pollinators have showed up. And they're mostly the larger bumblebees. You know, there's a small bumblebee and a larger one. Now normally speaking, you would get these a couple weeks later than you would the smaller tomatoes. And see, that one at the bottom is right to pick, and to be perfect that could take another day or so. And I think we've got another one down here. And they're pretty good size for a Better Boy. And most of them have 16, 20 tomatoes on them. And they still got to grow up to the pole and grow over there, and still got 3 or 4 months to grow. And the Sweet Millions are slow to put out suckers, but they put out suckers in gangbusters now. Because see, that's got 3 stems on it, and we've got others coming up. This one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stems on it. It's going to be a lot of tomatoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's going to produce tons of tomatoes. See, they all got a lot of sucker action now. It's setting a lot of fruit. We got pollinators. And the one on the end is Mighty Joe Young. That is a guaranteed 500 to 700 tomato. We'll get there in a second. And then we've been tying them up. That's one that needs to be supported a little bit. But see, instead of having one stem, we've got all these flowers on all these other stems. It's just tons of tomatoes. That's all you'd have on the main stem, just a few. Well, let's go down there and look at the last one. This thing's on steroids. Now that's what a cherry tomato looks like that will produce a minimum of 500 tomatoes. Look at the flowers. And I think this one's got a cluster on it of well over 50. I gotta find it. Here it is. Look at that cluster, folks. You got that part, that part, that part, that part, that part, and those. That's 50 tomatoes. Most of them are 25 to 30 at this point, and there are a bunch that are a dozen, but it doesn't take too many of those clusters to start getting up to 300 to 400 or 500. I mean, there's a ton of flowers on this thing. I mean, from there up is nothing but flowers. And since we got bees working, we're gonna get a lot of fruit set. And it's still got 3 months to grow.